Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Simply Dorales. This is Dorales. Last week, I know a couple of y'all were upset that we weren't on, but it was Mother's Day, and I'm a mother, so hey. I would like to introduce two of my co-hosts. We got KC, a.k.a. Preach.
What's going on? What's going on?
And we got CJ.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, y'all? You know, we going to get right into it. We smoking hookahs. We chilling. This podcast does have explicit language. I will not curve it for anybody. So if you're under the age of 18 or you don't want your kids to listen to this, please clear out the room. Also, I'm not liable for anything that you take from here and decide to put in your real life. These are all just based on my opinions. I am not a professional, but I do talk some real shit. Okay, let's get right into it. Horrible bosses. You know how we go. The definition. They can manifest in many forms, such as managers who are controlling, show favoritism, or don't communicate their expectations clearly. A bad boss may act unprofessionally when delegating tasks to others, speaking with employees, completing their own work, or leading team meetings. We have 8 types of bad bosses listed. I'm going to go through the types and then I'm going to explain them. 1, unfriendly. 2, poor leadership skills. 3, works alone. 4, micromanager. 5, disrespectful. 6, too tough. 7, unhelpful. And 8, aggressive. We're also going to go into toxic bosses. We have 13 points on that, so stay tuned. We about to get right into it. All right, so the unfriendly boss. You know, it can be challenging for you and other employees to develop a strong working relationship with an unfriendly manager. There are several reasons your manager could be behaving in an unfriendly way. They have an overloaded work schedule. Their introversion, anxiety, heavy workload. Okay, the poor leaders. You know, some managers, they might not be great leaders for you or your colleagues. For example, a manager might give a lot of commands and tasks to their employees but appear to do little work on their own. There are many reasons why this lack of leadership may occur, including laziness, anxiety, or inefficient knowledge of the job. 3, works alone. Some supervisors prefer to complete most tasks and projects by themselves, which often leaves the employees wondering, why am I here? What the fuck am I doing? 4, micromanager. Some managers have trouble trusting their employees or staff to complete the jobs and tasks assigned to them. These managers may check in frequently with the employees or constantly correct or coach employees even when it is unnecessary. For an example, a manager may point out a mistake on a project before the employee has completed it or learned that they made a mistake, so therefore they can't learn from the mistake because what they gonna learn from? You just pointed out, hey, fix this. Shit, I didn't even know I made that shit. Can I make the mistake on my own? 5, disrespectful. We've all had these. Another occurrence is managers acting disrespectfully toward their employees. This can manifest in many forms, such as making unprofessional remarks to staff or publicly shaming and critiquing individuals on their work performance. That is also unprofessional as hell. Too tough. Sometimes a manager can be overly tough or critical during work hours. This can give employees and staff stress and lower the morale of the company. Unhelpful. A manager may be unhelpful when you ask them for advice or assistance with some of your projects. These managers sometimes like employees to succeed or fail on their own to learn. Aggressive. You know, the aggressive ones, they tend to show hostility when interacting with employees. They got that chip on their shoulder. An aggressive manager may lack empathy and speak angrily or condescendingly to assert dominance. In some situations, they may also act out physically towards employees. I'm glad I didn't get one of those because I'd have been in jail. Characteristics of a bad boss is they fail to communicate and they may not have clear expectations, timelines, or goals. Let's get into toxic bosses. Toxic bosses, they think they're always right. They show obvious favoritism. Your work is credited to them. They get a praise like, oh, this is this. Oh, this is that. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I know I'm running this shit right. Bitch, I just spent 8 hours cleaning that shit. You gonna give me my fucking credit? Only advancing their careers in ways that it concerns them, and they never provide constructive feedback. They make inappropriate comments or gestures. It is they who create team conflict. They gossip. They publicly humiliate people. They micromanage. They gaslight you. They have no work-life balance, and they use fear as tactics. Now let's discuss. Have anybody had a horrible boss? I've had quite a few. What about you?
The situations that I've dealt with is people on the job trying to be politically correct rather than what is actually needed. You have too many situations where you want to go through this process and go through that process and go through that process. Like, I'm with a government agency that don't even pay their bills, which don't make no sense. But then you got general managers, supervisors, managers, and their thing is, well, shit trickles downhill. My thing is, fix the problems that need to be fixed, and we ain't got to worry about that. You know, so I mean, it's a lot when it comes to those that want to go through this process. You have to have this major contract. You got to have this to do that to do that. Just get us what we need so we can make you happy. You know.
That's hard. Like, I hate when you get a manager that you know don't know what the fuck they doing. They just got advanced because of who they fucking know. Just because of who they know. I don't know about y'all, but I've gotten that. I've had that type of manager. You looking at them like, you dumbass. You don't even know what the fuck you doing. You relying on me. I'm doing manager shit, but not getting manager pay. What in the entire fuck? I have worked several jobs where they have taken my ideas, put their shit on my shit on the menu, and I get no credit.
At all. And then they got this thing where you got all of these people that's kind of like fake it till you make it. You know, people that are come into positions that don't really know nothing about the position, don't really know how to do this, don't really know how to do that, but they pretend like they do, and they get the bottom guy to train them to what they need when that person is the one that should be in that position, but they're not going to do that, though.
Nope, not at all. CJ, what you got to say on this topic?
So, I mean, I guess in my situations, I mostly dealt with, I guess, kind of like racism, you know? And I did have this one boss. He was a very, 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 very good boss. But with my qualifications and everything, since he had 2 other properties, he hired a family member to be a manager, and they didn't even know what they were doing when I could have done that type of position and get paid for that. And they was calling the other property to get help on what to do and just being lazy and getting paid a certain type of salary or whatever versus what I was getting paid. So that's frustrating, very frustrating. So so sometimes it makes it hard to like, well, why am I here? I want more. You know what I'm saying? I can do more. Why am I getting paid this when the other person don't even know what they're doing and they're getting paid way much more than I am? That's frustrating. So it kind of sometimes makes you think like, why am I even here? You know what I mean?
And then the other thing is you don't want to be unstable. And because of that, not wanting to be unstable, it's like I have to stay here. I have to deal with this. I have to go through this. And a lot of people have put themselves in positions where they're at work, their job is causing them stress and anxiety. They don't want to be there. You know, and by the way, if anybody, Kissable, if you want to comment on this, you can just type a message or anything like that, and we'll chime you in as well. But
we'll also shout you out. So if you want to shout out where you from, let us know. And this goes for the podcast. We also live on another app. So just like let us know. Let us know. I always like to know where everyone is from and everything like that. So just, you know, chime in. We definitely appreciate the feedback and everything like that. I've had to deal with racism too, and a lot of people think because of my skin tone that I don't have to. I dealt with a job where the manager didn't know that I understood the language that they were speaking, and they were talking shit about me and several other employees. Stuff that, you know, sometimes you go to managers about personal things if you have to call off because you have to. And they were talking shit with another employee and then acting like they don't understand why the other employees were uncomfortable. Like, one thing, like, a lot of managers fail at is if you're not making your staff comfortable and keeping your staff happy, your business will fail. Those are the jobs that you see a high turnaround rate in. You see if you are at a job and you see a high turnaround rate, you have to question it. I mean, I was recently let go from a job a couple months ago because I was too urban. Okay? Now, they didn't say that in them exact words, but they told me that my hair wasn't appropriate for work. The way I dressed wasn't appropriate for work. And I dress, you can ask this man right here, the way I dress for work is appropriate. It is professional. I conduct myself professionally, and every business that I've worked with has benefited from me, and business has been taken far because of what I put in. You have to show value to your employees, or else you're going to look around and you ain't going to have shit. I don't care how big your franchise is or anything like that. Like, we have all these people in these manager positions that don't know what they're doing. They don't have people skills. They do not know how to talk to people. They do not show empathy. They are toxic, men and women. Men and women. It's not just a gender thing. It's a people thing. It's not even a race thing. It's a people thing. You got people that'll look at you and judge you like, oh, she looked that way, so we're going to treat her this way, and you're fucking up someone that could be the best employee ever because of how you already made it up in your mind how they are. Okay, now I have some stuff popping up on the chat. Shout out to Africa. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm glad I'm reaching y'all. Please drop where you're at. Okay, we got Paris, Australia, England, London, Texas, Philly, New York. Shout out. Yes, please keep dropping where you from. You can drop where you from right here on this live too, and we will shout you out. Please chime in. Let us know what you're thinking. If you've had a horrible boss, share your story. This is what this discussion is about. Now, I want to ask, has anybody had a toxic boss? Because I know I have. Anyone of y'all have had to share? You had a toxic boss, Casey?
I got bosses that are more like snakes. That we used to say they'd stay on their knees till they get to the top. Had them ass kissing lips and everything like that. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't put in the work and show yourself approved, but there's a level to how far you should go. Like, for instance, women that sometimes will sleep with people and everything like that for promotions and all of that stuff like that. And to be honest with you, that can go for men too.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, it's wrong. Have some morality about yourself.
Yes. Shout out to Kissable. I seen that you joined. Shout out to Kanye. I see that you joined. Please leave remarks and comments. We will shout you out. We will read them. So CJ, have you had a toxic boss situation?
Yes, I have. I've had this one lady accuse me of stealing when I just first started. I guess because I was a new person, and I've never stolen from that lady. And it got to the point where it became toxic in the job, where she would tell people or other employees, yeah, she took from the registered, blase, blase. And it's like, why are you telling these people that when I've done nothing wrong here?